and I wanted to share with you something I learned from my devotion book that I think is really applicable, especially with your positive and negative emotions or thoughts. So if you've ever heard of and I hope I say this right, myelin sheath, I think that's how you say it. It's in the brain, and it's a fiber in the brain that builds up around memories and actions. And so, like, as we repeat behaviors and thoughts, whether good or bad, the sheath builds up stronger and stronger to protect and solidify the electrical currents of those behaviors and thoughts, so that it could serve you in a very, very great way if you're thinking positive thoughts, or it could really serve you in a bad way if you're continuing to think negative thoughts. And I'll give you some examples here. And of course it's in relation to scripture. So I thought I would read this little section here. It says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things." So your brain is super powerful. And so in this instance, we're encouraged to think about positive things, admirable, pure, lovely, and so on. And then they go on to share that in a study done by King's College, people who suffer from anxiety disorders were asked to visualize a positive thing whenever they worry. Because I've shared this before, but negative thoughts hold so much more weight than positive ones. So for like one negative thought, you need at least 3 positive ones. So they found that just thinking positively lowered their anxiety and gave them greater happiness and restfulness, thus influencing their behaviors, which is really cool to know that like your thoughts and like your brain, they call it neuroplasticity. Like if you focus on positive thoughts and make that a habit, like doing a gratitude practice, like that can actually change the brain. And then she also goes on to say the reverse is true as well. So like I'd mentioned, like if you're thinking negative thoughts, that can really work against you. So negative thinking leads to more stress, restlessness, and dissatisfaction. And so she gives this example, and I'm sure you could relate, whether it be with a spouse or someone else, but she says, have you noticed this to be true in your life? In mine, it works like this. I get frustrated with my husband and feel he's not doing enough to help around the house. Then I start looking for examples to prove my idea, and in just a few days or even minutes, my attitude is rotten towards him. And I'm like, yep, I've actually like experienced that where, you know, it may not be, I'm pretty blessed that, Cody always helps a lot around the house, but it may just be something that, didn't sit well with me or whatever, and then I hold on to that thought, and then it gets stronger, especially if you don't communicate and resolve it right away. She says, the longer I hold those thoughts, the more my perception of his character changes. I become resentful and angry, and I think the worst of him. The negative thought, when fed over time, will build and create a rift between the two of us. Have you experienced that before? Whether it's with a spouse or somebody else, like the longer you hold on to that resentment and that one thing that happened, you are building, that myelin sheath is getting like stronger and stronger, and you need to like get rid of that. But then like another way to look at it is, I may still feel my husband doesn't help out around the house, but I will see, so like she's trying to do the same scenario, but adjust her thinking to positive. So I see him come home and hold our baby girl and bond with her. I will recognize the long hours he puts in at work to provide for our young family. As those good and true thoughts roll around in my mind, my love for him grows, our relationship deeper. So that is super powerful. And that's again why I always recommend like practice gratitude, because it's not even like, some people get caught up of like, why do I feel like I'm saying the same things, or like it's really hard to think about, things I'm grateful for. And you're right, it should be like your brain favors negative information. So, but like the act of looking for the positive, like will make it more of a habit for your brain to look for just that, for the positive. And then she finishes it saying, our mind holds incredible power, and we get to control what we spend our time dwelling on. You're in control of your thoughts.